All right, guys, welcome back to the Third Wheel Podcast. I'm Caleb. This is my brother Matt, who we will call C for our last name.
Hello.
Because why do I say that? Because we have another Matt right here. We'll call him B for his last name. So, guys, thanks for hopping on again for another episode. I'm so excited. Now, B just got back from a trip, and this will lead to a bigger discussion, but I'm really curious. You got back from what exactly?
So I just got back from my hometown. It was actually my 10-year high school reunion.
Ooh, terrible. Now, how do you feel? Do you feel old? Do you feel like everyone's pathetic? Like, how do you feel?
No, it feels definitely awakening. You know, like, oh man, 10 years ago since I was a child, I guess.
Yeah.
It was a little climactic because I graduated from a class of about 200 people in Texas. It was considered like a 3A size school.
Yeah.
So I went to public school, unlike most of your friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also like only about 30 people ended up RSVPing and showing up.
Okay.
So
Out of how many?
200.
Oh, yeah, that's not a lot. What'd y'all do?
We just hang out at this outdoor patio grill and bar in town.
So how do you feel?
So there wasn't much planning to it. It was just like, hey, let's just show up here and hang out.
Well, I was kind of curious. How do you feel seeing all of them, comparing your job and where you're at in life now to theirs?
I mean, I feel proud of where I am, but I don't feel prideful. Is like,
yeah. You didn't compare yourself to them? Because I definitely would. I'm tell you
no,
that right
I
now.
feel like I was more prideful in high school than I am now.
What did you have to be prideful about in high school?
I thought everyone was dumb.
My parents loved me. They stayed together.
No, so another thing is that like, so I didn't really socialize with most of my class because I was in all honors classes. So like my whole daily routine was with like the same 20 people, like everyone else that was all in the honors. So like out of those 200, like say 20, 25 was like my main group I hang out with. Because that was the only group I really saw day by day.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, it's like history, math, science. We're all in the same boat together.
Yeah. See, so my high school reunion just passed 10 years. It got canceled because everyone's still broke. They were broke when I was 18 years old, and they're broke at 28 years old. So a good friend of mine, Paige, we were friends when we graduated. We met the year of, right? And we're getting ready for stuff, right? Graduating. She planned the whole thing. She got a venue, okay? She got people to provide the food. She just needed, and she got a place where we could play games and football and stuff. It was like it was going to be a whole thing. And she got it down to just $30 per person. 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That'd be great, right? She got barbecue for $3 each. Yeah, but no one could pay. Me and her, and I think maybe one other person bought a ticket. And still, I was like, "How is everyone still broke after 10 years?" I was very disappointed. I signed up to pass out the food.
I could stand at a corner for about an evening and get $30.
Exactly. First customer.
Spare change.
Yeah.
Spare change,
Go
man.
fund me.
Yeah.
I get a GoFundMe.
I was
need $30.
so disappointed. Because like I did everything I was supposed to. I was so excited for it, and I was like, I RSVP'd, I volunteered, and I paid. Turns out if I had bought 10 tickets, right, to help 10 people out, it wouldn't have mattered because nobody else bought one. I was like, dang, that's so disappointing, you know, like, and everyone kept making empty promises like, okay, well, when do you need it by? And she's like, I need it by yesterday, and nothing. So it was canceled. And I was so disappointed because all the work was done. We just need people to go, you know, and yeah, it was gonna be cool. But what'd y'all do for yours? Like just chilling?
Yeah, just chilled at the patio bar.
Yeah.
Just chilled, talked to everybody, had drinks,
Yeah.
ate some good food.
Yeah.
That was it.
So I asked about comparison because I would definitely compare if I was like meeting up with everybody because it sounds like I'm doing better than all the other guys that were invited to mine. So I don't know. I'm looking at a lot of people now that I thought were gonna do really well, and they all like turned out to be kind of bums.
Well, I guess first of all, like again, few people went. Most of the people that did go were the ones that I guess didn't really leave hometown.
No, yeah. Yeah, I see you're the only one that made the drive back to do it. So,
Yeah. Well, me and my other friend did. we both drove, not together, but like
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But no, like I wasn't like they were just like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just working at this aerospace
Yeah. Post high
company
school.
in Fort Worth. And like, whoa, no way.
Mhm.
Like I'm like, yeah, cool. And just, hey, well, what are you up to? And I'm just trying to like keep it chill. Like
For you, see, post high school, how do you feel? When do you feel like life really got you and kicked in the balls and got you in gear?
Nah, I did it to myself. So I really can't complain. I had it all going for me. I went to school and then I flunked out. Are we allowed to talk about drugs?
Sure.
Okay. So I got a lot into weed and other things, which I won't mention, but weed was the biggest thing. I became addicted to it so much to the point where like I got lazy, started skipping class a lot, and I was just focusing on my job as a busboy at the Cheesecake Factory. I didn't have much going for me, and so after flunking out, that was when I met my wife, and she stayed all the way until getting her bachelor's, and she's almost done with her master's now.
sounds like it
So-
worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
Do weed,
I'm,
kids.
yeah, right. No, you have to be charming. You can't
Yeah.
just pull anybody to do this. But
For real.
no, I ruined it for myself. And then after 6 years of self-reflection and realizing that I really dug us in the gutter, I got my life back together. So I'm definitely way behind all of my colleagues. I went to a very prestigious high school.
Yeah.
It's not well known at all, but it was one of those dual credit high schools where by the time you graduate, you get your associate's degree and your diploma.
Was it in
which-
DFW? Did y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah, both like state school around here.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Fort Worth
okay.
ISD.
Okay.
So I went to a high school called the Texas Academy of Biomedical Sciences, and it was full of nothing but nerds. Oh, there's so many nerds. I thought I was kind of smart, and then I realized I wasn't in the face of other people who have no lives.
Yeah.
So there were only 100 of us when we started as freshman year. We don't add new people throughout our class, so we ended with 87. Of those 87, some have died already.
Oh no.
And by the time our reunion comes around, what's our turnout going to be like? Because there's only less than 87 of us to work with, and of those, maybe not all of them are going to want to attend. And even of those, I'm probably one of the lowest paid out of all of them. All of them became nurses and graduated way before I did. Some of them got their masters already. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. Maybe I don't want to be there because maybe I'm too embarrassed to go. And I already ruined my relationships with them. So, I got my own life going on. No need to relive past grievances or, see that person that I hated in high school. I don't want to relive any of it.
Okay. See, I don't have that problem. I was looking forward to seeing the guys, but I guess I'm talking about people that kind of never left where they were,
Well, the problem that I have is that since there's not that many people, anytime any type of drama would happen in the school, everyone would know about it. There's not much of us there, so when something does happen, we're a very tight-knit group. So
does that ever change? I feel because I'm a gossip queen at my job, right?
I
in real
hear
life.
things,
Yeah.
even though it has nothing to do with me, I know about some drama that's gone on. Some people came out of the closet, 3 years later, and all of us were like, I knew it. But
No, I can go all the way. Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say also leaving your hometown is different in a big city versus a small town.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because in a small town, everybody knows your business no matter what. Really,
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
Just
now,
like
one
high
of my
school.
friends, we also went to college together for the same degree plan. He actually flew all the way in from Phoenix. So I mean, some people did make the effort.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's
Yeah.
a real effort. Yeah.
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 I would say, but I guess transitioning to college, had we that's when life really kicked me. I ain't gonna lie, because that's when I let my grades go too. I was working on my bachelor's, and I let my grades slip so down that I lost a lot of the free money I was getting, the scholarships and whatnot. So I qualified enough for loans, but I didn't qualify enough for it to be forgiven, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, so I was taking loans out to pay for college, and I was working full time to pay for most of it out of pocket, and that's how I stayed out of most of debt. So, but I don't know. Post college, post high school, how's life's treating y'all? 10 years for both of us, but what, 6 years for you or 7?
7 years for me.
7, yeah.
I mean, my wife's making it. We're pulling a fair amount of money home. So I'd say in that regard we're good. So as soon as I'm actually double majoring, I graduate at the end of this year. So hopefully with that,
Congrats.
thank you.
End
It was
of
an accident.
end of the spring, or you
end of
mean,
like in
or at the end of the
end
actual
of
year?
fall. End of fall.
Okay, so end of the actual year.
Yeah, end of the actual year. I'll be done, and then I'm gonna take a break for a year, and then both Simran and I are gonna go for our masters. She's gonna have a second masters, and I'll have my first. But
What are you doing?
I know.
You're still a
shouldn't have
bum,
flunked
just like
out.
in the day.
Yeah, I know. Well, she's an electrical engineer. She's got the mind for it. She's driven
Yeah.
like crazy.
Really? Oh, that's my degree also.
No.
Electrical?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm not using it, but I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you
okay.
definitely don't have a master's.
Oh yeah, she's definitely passed me too.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she was like Dean's List 4.0 still on her master's. Like, just perfect grades.
She's
Not
like,
perfect grades, but she at least got A's on everything.
Yeah.
So
I'm doing more software right now, but
so
She's
disclaimer.
doing more hardware, and she wants to get into software.
So me and C are living together. You know, we're all crammed up in that house, right? And when does she study? Because y'all are partying with us quite a bit, which is like fine. But like, I'm kind of curious when she fits her study time in with the 4.0.
Sure. Do you remember any of those times where you don't see her that she's studying?
Yeah, I guess so.
She goes,
That's crazy.
crawls into the room and just hops on the computer. and
Yeah.
dang.
does coding.
It was hard because like when I graduated high school, I feel like that was top of my game as far as academics wise. I got to college and it was less. It was more on me to focus into study, and that's where I failed because I'm lazy. So that's where my grades started slipping. I started prioritizing friends and drinking and all sorts of other stuff. So my grades slipped.
Did you do a frat or anything?
No,
No, I didn't either.
I worked really hard on my own to goof off. I didn't have a frat built in.
I felt like for me, well, what was really funny was that college just felt like 2.0 high school because
Yeah.
my high school was like the Cardinals mascot, and then
Yeah.
college was also the Cardinals. So I was like, can I use my same T-shirts? Like, no. So like everything, and I didn't go to like anywhere far or anything. I actually went to like a nearby university that was mostly a commuter school.
Yeah.
So I did that to save money, so I finished debt free.
Yeah.
But I feel like in terms of like staying motivated for everything, like, well, okay, I was to keep on my own studies. Like I was already kind of doing that well enough in high school because
Yeah.
my dad's biggest motivation for me was like get a good degree so I don't have to work as hard as I do because he worked as a machinist in the oil refineries. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, that's enough motivation for me. Like, so I wanted to work like long overtime shifts or anything like that. So I was like, all right, good. I don't want to work like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess where college did start to hit was like, I don't know. So like I told you about like that group of people that like I thought we were like super tight with in high school.
Yeah.
Because we're like all in the same classes together. So a lot of us did go to the same university. During like my sophomore year, we just had like a giant like falling out where they all like just turned their backs on me and abandoned me. So that was
Just
really,
you?
Yeah, just me.
Huh.
I kind of like really offended one of them and just kind of spelled out of control.
I think you told me this story, but
Yeah.
can you remind us?
No.
No, not unless you want to get canceled.
Okay.
He told one of those jokes.
I wasn't joking.
You're gonna have to do some digging, 4chan. You're trying to cancel us.
But yeah, no, that was just like hard
Yeah.
to just have like go from having friends to like immediately none. But I mean,
Mm.
I
I know
managed to.
exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Totally
ended up
with you.
managing and like finding new friends and stuff. But
Yeah.
also like I guess it is kind of like different. It's now like you are like technically an adult at that point. So it's like your parents don't ever talk to your professors like they would teachers. Like,
Yeah.
everything's like on your own. Like, you know, you gotta go talk to your professor yourself. Like, hey, my grades are slipping. What can I do? Or like if they offer anything. And
Yeah.
I knew like there was like some people we kind of met in classes where like they were still being babied like in college. Like,
Mhm.
like one guy, like forgot to pick his classes for one semester.
Oh no.
I guess I guess I'm
yikes.
not a student now. I guess he left.
That's funny.
Lucky.
actually.
And I think like another guy, like his parents actually did come up to talk to the professor, which that wouldn't work.
No. Well, it's
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't be talking to nobody's parents. I'm like,
Yeah.
was he 21, 22? Like,
He
you're
was probably 19.
talking to his
or-
kid or his parents. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess also like it's also like an important time where you start to really like think about like what you believe in and stuff. Like, first like wasn't really political, and then like you start to figure out like, oh, now I know what side I'm on.
Yeah. I was like, well, now I know about taxes and which party makes them go up. You know?
Yeah.
So, what about you, Matt? You had something you were saying about friends getting lost and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Here's my proof that I don't have any friends anymore. One of my best friends is my brother now, and the only
That's
coworker
not
I
bad.
talk
That's
to
a
is my
darn shame.
sister.
Yeah.
I
The
wish
only
I
other
had a
person I
brother.
talk to is my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay,
kinda dry
you
with
have a
friends at
brother
the
and you're
moment.
married. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Well,
has,
I'm just saying, like
he
people
has none
outside
of
the
those.
family. I'm a little dry at the moment.
Yeah. See that hand right there? He has zero of those.
No, that was just the example. I'll be like, I understand your struggle. I had to, I had to scrape at the bottom of the barrel to
But who
come up with
burned?
somebody to talk to.
Can I ask who burned whose bridges?
Oh, I burned all of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, okay. Not gonna name any names. There's a certain couple that I'm sure you know who I'm referring to.
I don't
That,
mind us getting a little dirty on this one.
Well, okay.
Yeah, just a little bit though. Let's keep a general term.
So I may be friends with them still.
Oh.
As of Friday. So the thing was is that there may have been some miscommunication, but the one thing that wasn't miscommunicated is that they wanted me to loan my wife off to them for
Yeah.
for stuff, right?
For a third wheeling, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A third wheel
To record,
podcast
to
session.
record an episode of the Third Wheel Podcast. Am I right? And so that was like the first
Yeah.
no. And then they just felt like very negative. I'm a Christian man, and there was this one time where they tried to convince me that I was agnostic, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." You know, like what is
Okay.
it? They always try to convince me that I'm a closeted gay, and I'm like, dude, stop. It's, it's I have a wife. We're all good. I'm not questioning
Like
myself.
actually convince you, or joke about it. That's different.
Joke about it, but whenever I go to those parties with their friends,
And they try to scooch all together.
oh yeah, oh my gosh, the amount of people that like throw themselves at me. I guess I have the personality for it. But
They just love those Cheesecake Factory workers.
yeah, I'm right.
Got that vibe.
So I mean, I just wasn't feeling it, and so my wife and I would cut them off for a fair while, and then they wanted to know what was up, and so I was like, you know what, y'all need a harsh talking to, and I gave
I
them a
hate
harsh.
all of you. Just-
Right. Well, I did give them a very harsh talking to, one
Yeah.
to one. Simran was mad at me that I did it, but
Oh no.
it's taken care of.
yeah, it worked
I've
out.
addressed all the issues and be
Cool.
like, hey, stop it, or otherwise
Yeah.
I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, who knows? That's still fresh, so no clue where that's going.
Yeah.
And then the only other friends I have would be my wife's friends, and they got their own life going on right now. And they live all the way in Carrollton or Washington D.C. We don't get to talk to them much, but whenever they feel like coming over, or when we feel like driving all the way out there, then
Yeah, I already addressed in a previous episode with Shaps about friend stuff. Times I've had to burn bridges, times I've had to call it quits, that type of stuff. That's already kind of done. But Matt, B, have you had that experience before, having to cut someone off yourself?
well, I mean,
he's
as,
ready to do it right now.
Yeah, I bet he is.
no, I feel like that mostly just happened to me, like what we just talked about earlier. I don't think, I cut off anybody on my own terms. Not that I know of.
Yeah, you've had people cut you off.
Well, like we already talked about in the past that like some people just don't like me.
Yeah, and that I don't get. I brought it up.
Well, Well, you know that I've changed in recent years.
Mhm.
However, when I was 18, there was plenty of reasons for you to not
Yeah.
be my friend.
But this
so,
one though, I don't get.
We take one guy on a camping trip, and apparently I offend him
Oh,
so
I
much.
I heard about this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so honestly, you came up yesterday at a dinner because
Oh yeah, that's true. We did.
it
talk
was
about
story
this.
time for the family, and you came up B. So I was like, you know, so there's this guy. We'll call him. Okay.
I mean, accurate, but yes.
Yeah. No. I liked him. I thought he was a really cool guy.
I thought we were okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And we take him camping with me, B, and a bunch of other people from our church. And he thought you were so bossy on that trip for some reason. Oh, because you're okay. So we have meals that we portion out for camp.
We don't have to go super specific.
Yeah,
But
but
like,
like
we have a way of doing things.
yeah, and-
Especially like,
and he was the only one who was like, "No, I'm gonna bring something else. No, I'm gonna do this instead. No, I'm gonna do this instead."
yeah.
For pretty much the whole trip and every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were frustrated with him.
I mean, I kind of also joked about it, but maybe I joked about it too hard.
Yeah, maybe made too many jokes about it, right? But
But yeah.
we come back and he texts me, "Hey, I'm not hanging out with y'all anymore, because I feel like God's telling me to take a different route." He texts you that he doesn't like you anymore.
Well, look, I can be a mature adult and handle out my issues
Yeah, which you tried to do.
individually. Yeah.
You tried to talk to him.
I called him, said like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, oh, well, I mean, if I offended you, I mean, we could have talked it out. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know I was doing that. Like,
Yeah.
But no, like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I can be reasonable. If
Right.
People just aren't willing to talk it out.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone else is like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
What? You got a snide remark here you're gonna make?
No, I was just gonna be like, well, you stand your ground, but then I went back to the Chick-fil-A incident where you're like, ooh, do you remember?
No, the alpha.
Yeah, the alpha. Oh.
Yeah. So our other brother, he made a joke about alpha male. Was it alpha males or alpha dog or something? I think it was alpha male.
something.
He said something about alpha males, and I was like,
It was
Everyone-
essentially to make fun of me.
Yeah.
It was really. I was like actually
know.
angry at the moment,
wasn't
but when you
making-
made the
no, no,
joke,
I
like
wasn't making fun
I
of
started
you.
laughing.
yeah. I wasn't making fun of you. He said alpha male. He made fun about you wanting to be an alpha male, so then I just howled at the non-moon. The sun was still out. No, I wasn't making fun of you.
I mean, it was funny. It got me not angry anymore. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that's what I was
Yeah.
chuckling about in my mind.
But yeah, so I don't understand. People have a beef with me. Okay, we're not gonna talk about who. Okay, but believe it or not,
It's me.
yeah.
okay.
Some people don't like me. I don't get it.
Some.
No, just one. But we're gonna talk about it. But you, I just didn't get it. You don't try to ruffle feathers, but sometimes you do, and I just don't
Yeah.
get.
I'm like,
You don't talk that much to where like your personality is like, pushing on people or wearing down on their personality. You don't bring the mood down when you show up to stuff. I don't get it. So sometimes people come in and be like, "Yeah, Matt," and I'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
also like the wedding party I wasn't a part of too.
Oh yeah,
Well, I mean, I will admit, the first time that I met you, I wasn't sure how I felt about you.
I feel
That's
the
because
same
you
way about
didn't
anybody I
say-
meet.
I was just about to say, but like, you didn't say anything, so like, why would I have an opinion? So,
Yeah.
and then after a while, you started to talk to me.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
I think it was at Scarborough where you busted out one of the worst jokes I've ever heard. I mean, it was good, but I cracked up so hard. I changed my opinion about him forever. I forget what the joke was.
I was saying,
I don't remember it
yeah,
either.
I don't remember you being there. I remember me and him.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
He was there.
I remember you and me. I don't remember. When did you get there? I remember my dad and our little sister.
I was there.
You were?
Yeah, I
Oh.
got the photos for it.
I deleted you from the. Oh no! I'm so
He
sorry.
cropped my
Yeah.
face out of the photos.
Like I'm gonna crop this down later. I cropped you out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Whoopsie. Sorry. I feel bad.
Whatever
Still
it was,
blinking.
whatever that joke was, it was so funny
Yeah.
that I was just
I don't
like,
even remember.
I had the wrong opinion about you. I'm sorry.
Scarborough's changed.
But okay. I tend to, when I meet a new crowd, I tend to wait it out and see like, okay, what can I get away with? And they'd be okay with it.
You classic Sigma male. You see those Sigma male videos where they're like, we're not quiet and shy. We're just standing back and waiting for a moment to strike.
That's
And that's
actually
you.
kind of perfect.
Yeah. And that's what they say. I'm like, what? I don't know what I consider because I'm definitely not a beta, but I'm not an alpha. And Sigma it sounds very embarrassing to be a Sigma, especially those videos we're
Thanks,
talking
you
about.
just called me that.
No, I'm just saying, like, it just the Sigmas that have YouTube channels. It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
watching them
okay.
talk.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
those
hold on.
guys are
I thought a
embarrassing.
Sigma male thing was starting a podcast.
No, because alphas start one. Like, look at the alpha males like Andrew Tate and all them. Like,
Those are different.
No.
everyone has a podcast now.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone and their mom.
Everyone in the comments.
I
Likes
feel like
to tell
that's
me.
a red pillar. It's
Yeah.
different than alpha or sigma.
Well, they
you
think
know.
they're alphas, and that's the best part of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So no.
So alpha males, or did you just
How
say they
about
don't exist?
we agree to all of the above except beta, right?
So betas don't make podcasts? Or are you saying I'm a beta?
No,
I agree you're
I'm
not-
saying that
yeah, I agree you're
we
not an
at this
alpha.
table are not betas.
No, I don't think so. But I guess we're sigmas.
Though I don't know, my voice not deep enough to say that I'm not a beta. You know.
I don't know. So, yeah, sigmas have a bad rap right now because of the small percentage.
Okay, I don't
think
follow any of that, so I really.
Well, it's fun. I watch the guys that make fun of them.
Okay.
You know,
Mm.
so that's fun. But yeah. Do you think I had a buddy say so? Sigma males get a bad rep on the internet, but I think they're pretty productive. But I could say the same about like fedoras, right? Those really don't look bad until you saw the wrong people wearing them. You know
The
what I mean?
nice guys.
Yeah,
You know, tips hat,
I thought
madam.
that was beta.
yeah.
I would call them betas.
They're betas and they wear
Yeah.
fedoras. but I thought fedoras were cool, right? And then now
What's the
that
code name for Z?
they've been-
Those guys with fedoras fit that.
yeah, and
No.
they failed it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, code word no. I thought they would look cool, but then they're guys, the neck beards, the chubby guys that tuck in their t-shirts.
They're like a step below weeaboos in my opinion. Those guys are creepy, man.
Let's see, B here would disagree. He says anyone who watches anime is a weeb.
Well, okay, I would consider myself a weeaboo because I definitely don't have a beard going on, but I do have the neck beard. And I think when I was like a 7th grader, I had a Cookie Monster fedora that I wore
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
But you're like under 10.
I know, but like still.
Pretty sure you got it from Hot Topic.
I don't know where I got it from, but
Yeah.
man, I could not stop wearing it. I just love the way it looked, and then now I see those photos, I'm like,
Yeah, I wore
it
one.
hurts.
I wore one too in high school before I realized they weren't cool.
Back when you were part of the Schlub Club.
No,
If you
I did
remember
not.
what that
I
is.
did not wear it. I did not wear that in the Schlub Club. How dare you? How do you know about that? You weren't there.
I saw photos.
Yeah, that's true. I posted one every other week. Nice guys. Let's talk about the nice guys. I wanted to break that down for people. That's a conversation I would like to have with Darcy.
I feel like they're all bipolar.
Really?
Like all of them. There will be the nicest person to, well, if you're a girl,
I feel like
they'll
I
be
can
the
see
nicest
that.
person to you. They're like, I'll lick your feet. You know, I'll help you take a shower. I'll do everything for you. Anything that you ask of me.
Now that's just
You know, you don't even, no. It's these nice guys, I'm telling you. They're like, you know, like, I'm a real man. You should leave him. I'll take care of you like no other. And then as soon as they get a hint of rejection,
yeah.
man, I'm not allowed to say a lot of the words I'm about to say. So, you know,
Yeah,
they
yeah. But
flip out.
yeah.
They're just like, how could you betray me? You know,
yeah,
like,
you're a B
you know,
word. You lead men on. You lead
yeah,
men
you led
on.
Me, you led me on for
Yeah.
like 7 years, even though we didn't actually go on a date ever. You know,
Now,
those guys are creepy.
Those are the extreme. That's the
the
extreme,
joke that
though.
I'm trying to make. I wouldn't call it too extreme since there's so many examples coming up online. They're
There's-
outing all of these guys. And, you know, if it wasn't that extreme, they wouldn't have made a subreddit called r/nice guys. Like, they're everywhere.
There are 650 million people on the United States just alone, right? So out of that, even just 1% of that is going to make up the most of Reddit, you know, and be those Reddit threads. You know what I'm saying? That's why there are countless examples.
If they
but-
were handsome, they would be called manipulators.
Yes, that's good. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're
But everyone's got
basically the
manipulative
same.
tendencies. But I'm gonna talk about the nice guys here. I think why they get frustrated, okay, and why they get mad. Now, do they handle it right? No. They start throwing insults out. They start yelling, that type of stuff. Bad. But I think the frustration comes from they don't know how to flirt. They don't know how to ask people out, and so they try being nice. And by the time they blow up on these women, it's because they've gone so long not knowing or having any game or knowing what to work on that when they think they're building towards something and then they get shot down.
I wonder what
They
they're
try to.
watching.
They spend too long trying to creep into a relationship.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And they get frustrated when they've wasted all their time and whatever they've done.
I'm really not concerned, but like I'm wondering like what they watch, what they read that
Mhm.
like gets them these fantasies that they think that they're going into, and is it feels like the reality is crashing before them because they thought
Yeah.
they were doing everything right
Right.
according to what this character did in this show.
I will say, coming from a former nice guy, and I wasn't coming at it. Hold
Edit
on.
that out.
No.
Do not say that.
Okay, former no, I mean like just that stereotype, like doesn't know how to talk to women or ask them out. That's what I mean. It wasn't that I was watching people who taught me to, and I never blew up on women. Let me go ahead and say that I never like yelled at them and berated them. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm talking about the inexperience. It wasn't that I was watching people telling me how to do something. It's that I had never had the experience myself, and nobody taught me, nobody showed me. So you get to me when I'm 23 years old, which I'm not anymore, right? But when I was 23, like I just didn't have any experience, and I was too scared to make that push to just go out and just talk to people. And I think that's where they're messing up. Is they're doing that, like you said, the creep in.
Yeah.
They want to creep in, and that doesn't work usually. 99%
Probably,
of the
yeah,
time.
like more than that.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time, it doesn't work, right? Creeping in. But they don't know that because nobody showed up. Why are you laughing?
I did it.
Yeah?
It works.
No, I don't think, well, explain to me what creeping in for you looks like then. Because I don't think that's what you did, but maybe I'm wrong.
They became my best friends.
That's a normal
I
thing.
thought you said you didn't
And-
have best friends.
Oh, this was in high school.
Oh.
Yeah.
They became my best friend. Where I
Before
would, like,
you made a
I would
move.
like slip into their friend group and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I am just here to be your friend."
That- That's not I wouldn't call that what I'm talking about with a nice guy. What they do is like, I don't know, they just don't know how to be direct. You can still like, because they struggle with even becoming friends with women is the thing. Whereas you had an in. They don't have that in because they don't know how to do it. Because they're not going at it with let's be friends first and then I can go from there. They're going at it with I'm going to creep in and then see if they'll go out with me. Which I would even argue they don't ask out correctly either. That's the thing. They just don't know any better.
Yeah.
So by the time they
I'll tell you what, they always preface it by, "Can I ask you a question?" out of the blue, and that's
Yeah.
the biggest red flag. It's just
But-
like, all right, I already know what's going on.
That's not how I'd ask anybody out either. You know what I mean?
I've tested it before. Doesn't
and,
work.
and it doesn't
Don't try
work,
it.
right? But they
Don't
don't.
try it.
But nobody showed them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm bringing it up. It's like this is a help you guys. Anybody who watches it.
Rejection is a good teacher.
Yeah, very much so. But it's not rejection if you don't do it right. If you don't ask them out and get turned down, it's not rejection. It's I creeped in and they freaked out and ran.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, well, on my end, it's like, well, it's their fault. It's their fault. They don't know what they're blah 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 blah
They,
blah. They were leading me on, that type of stuff.
What I did is like I would test out the same tactic for several people.
Yeah.
And then I would come to the conclusion that it doesn't work.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe I've done it ever so many times that I know how to
Yeah.
talk to people now.
And that's the thing. Like for me, being the nice guy that's afraid to talk to women, too shy, I never got that push to go talk to people. It wasn't until I was like 24 or 25 when I started making those type of things. The very first girl, I just flat out asked for her number. She said yes and gave me her number, and she became my first girlfriend. I was like, that was easy. I was like, I made it so hard for so long. I was doing the nice guy thing, where it's like, can I ask you a question? I do it in person too. Like, can I ask you a question? How do you feel about me? Like that? No, it's so indirect.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like there was so much work to be done, and it's like, but that's where those nice guys come in because they've been frustrated for so long because they don't know what to do, and no one's showing them.
I would say, and this might be a weird connection that I've made,
Yeah.
but for example, if you want a woman to marry you, what's the question that you ask?
will you marry me?
Correct.
Yeah.
Will you marry me?
Sorry. I was thinking there was some darker
No.
answer here.
And
Trick
what
question.
you just said gives the same concept. Can I have your number?
Yeah.
The answer is yes or no.
Right.
Same thing with will you marry me?
Yeah.
So I'd ask the question, will you be my girlfriend? And apparently these questions work. They just want it outright. And so
Yeah.
this is not going to work for everyone, okay? I'm telling you right now that I've been rejected a fair number of times. But, that question right there seemed to have the best results, is that if you're direct with it
Yeah.
and confident with it,
Yeah.
and you let them know what your intention is, then we can get somewhere.
Yeah. Because
You know?
a lot of these threads you're talking about on Reddit, they're people that tried to, I saw one where a guy was a lab test partner with this girl in college, and he was thinking they were together when she invited him over to a study, and that's all they did was study. But he was taking that she's being flirty. Well, she can't have a boyfriend because we hung out one-on-one at the.
Hey, you're beating around the bush.
Yeah,
you're not
exactly.
Getting to,
and that's the thing.
I've wasted 4 months of my life just so I could
fool,
shoot my shot at you.
We were studying.
We were just studying.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah, and they get mad because in their head they thought it was because they don't know how to approach people. In their head, they thought this was building toward a relationship, but and that's
me it's just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Ask the question.
Absolutely. Now, if I'm working on a project with them, I'm not going to ask them out till the project's over. You know what I mean?
That grade depends
Yeah,
on it.
Yeah.
Depends on it.
Yeah, but so here's one thing I used to do. Say there were a couple times, long time ago. Sometimes I'd go to Whataburger and the girl working there is really cute, and it's like, well, when I was the nice guy, I would be like, well, I can't ask her out. I just only now saw her.
Yeah, write a note on a napkin and slide it.
But I was always like, well, I'd have to talk to her first. I'd have to get to know her and all that. And I was like, I'm just shying away from making progress, where it's like, it's totally fine to just be like, hey, you're really cute. Can I get your number? You don't have to hold up the line to do it. You can do it after, instead of you're going up for a napkin, go up and ask her.
I will say there's one huge downside. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's one huge downside to this tactic.
To what? Which tactic?
The being direct and asking questions and wanting to get to the bottom of things, right? Me as a married man, I still somewhat follow that line of logic, is that we got stuff to do. I'm not beating around the bush.
Yep.
This is what I want, or this is the question that I'm asking, or, get to the bottom of it. Now, my wife, she might want to banter with me first, and she'll try to lead up to the question that she wants to ask.
So it carries over into the rest.
Yeah, right. So I think that might be a downside, is that maybe I can be seen as hardened to some people, because I'll be like, spit it out,
it's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about that.
I just thought about that.
Yeah,
but maybe being direct isn't always the best approach.
No, it's interesting. I think that's pretty cool though.
My favorite thing about being direct is that if they say no, it's easier. You just move on.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
You're wasting your time,
and it doesn't have to be weird.
Yeah,
it was just she asked me out, and I'm sorry, I asked her out, and she said no.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I've been asked out by women, and I can just say no. Oh, you got a story now too, here, buddy?
Yeah, I do.
Let's hear it.
Well, okay. The story is of the Japanese twins, who I shan't name. However, I asked one of them out. I was told no. And the point that I'm trying to make is that you can open up the door of opportunity, because even though she said no, I guess it instilled something into her, and so she started to have feelings for me in the future. But then it turns out her sister liked me, and so I went out with her sister. And then she texted me on the side, and she was like, "You dated my sister? I liked you." And I was like, "You rejected me already." I was like, "It's too late."
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? Break up with your sister just so I can get with her sister?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was all your fault.
Yeah,
I'm sure there was more to it, but I don't even think that the majority of it was your fault.
Having a podcast with video doesn't help me much, because I'm not allowed to make faces anymore.
Do you think that roles could be kind of reversed in a way? Could there be a nice girl version?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, that was a quick answer.
There's
Okay.
some creepy
I don't
girls
know
out there.
because like
I don't trust a
There
girl
was-
that's quiet.
well no like there was like a girl that I knew one time before I moved out of town. Like apparently she liked me, but I didn't know it because usually guys can be pretty oblivious to if a girl likes you and you don't really like her back.
Mhm.
So whenever I was like moving out of town, people would kind of like give me like a going away party, and then like they gave me like a big like gift box and full of stuff. I thought it was from everybody. No, this was like all just like from her, like this
Oh.
gift basket. And I'm like, oh.
Yikes.
You missed out. You could have been married a long time ago.
But I wasn't interested in her.
No. Yeah.
So yeah.
Why? No, I'm just kidding. We know why.
So like I was kind of wondering like could that like same be a similar way of like creeping in, like
Maybe.
it wasn't like just immediate. It just seemed like it was. Looking back, it could have been like yeah, she was probably building up to.
Yeah. I
that.
see what you mean. So maybe so. There's a female version of everything, I'm sure now. Now that you bring that up. Where did she go wrong, Matt?
Huh?
Where'd she go wrong?
She didn't. She shot her shot.
She did? She didn't give him a note or nothing.
She tried.
Think so?
Yeah, I believe so. Men and women are essentially two completely different beings. They have their own ways of doing things. So I can't really say that she didn't try. It was just you probably don't want to hurt her feelings too
Yeah.
much, so you'd much rather just not say anything.
There's that, but also we're supposed to read cues and clues, right? So when
They're
he,
easy to read once you know what you're looking for.
right, but he didn't know till well after the fact.
But
right?
because I wasn't interested in
I
her,
tell
I
you
wasn't
what,
looking for her.
I had never noticed the hair twirl for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah. It's a real thing. They
Oh
do it.
yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
But, man, like, I didn't think I was that funny, and this girl's laughing real hard, and I was just like, oh yeah.
Laughing,
know?
rolling her eyes, fixing her hair, all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
And so you pick up on those small
Yep.
things.
Oh yeah, you do.
Eye contact's the big one. Yeah, that's. I've tested it out. Like having very strong eye contact is a little uncomfortable.
No, but my thing was that because I wasn't interested in her, I wasn't looking at all from signals from her.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, you're giving out all the perfect nonverbal cues to tell her no. There was this one girl who I shan't name as well, but she really wanted to go out with me, and that for some reason that just rubs me the wrong way. I want to be the one to ask because if I'm interested in you, that's what I'm gonna ask. But if somebody else comes in that I wasn't even thinking about you, and come out of nowhere. But she ended up being kind of creepy,
Yeah.
She was sending me hundreds of texts within like a 2-hour period. You know what I mean? Like it was bad. Because I had rejected her.
Did she at least?
Yeah, she shot her shot. And she asked me, and I was like, no. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't say like maybe or anything or like I think you're a nice person.
Yeah.
But I was like, no.
Did she at
like, that
least
was-
leave you alone after you said no?
Oof.
And you blocked her?
It ruined the friend group that we had
Really?
at the time.
Was that bad?
Yeah. So
She started making stuff up about you.
no.
Oh.
But it just got awkward, and then I actually spoke to her recently, like within the last year. And
Yeah.
talked it over and be like, yeah, we're good,
Mhm.
But
Oh, cool.
maybe I was a little insensitive with being direct with my answer.
Ugh,
But
no.
I feel like if I was beating around the bush,
Yeah.
that she may have thought that there was a chance and she
Right.
would keep going.
No, you never want to do that.
How's your dating life? Huh?
Pause.
Well, my phone's almost out of battery, so I can't pause. But we can pass.
We can pass.
No.
Next question.
Let's just say it's complicated right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, if it was Facebook, he'd be like, "It's complicated,"
Yeah.
So.
So we'll find out at the end of this week.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Magic number 40.
Back to teachers for me.
Yeah, for real. I'm kind of curious to know how that story wraps up, by the way.
Yeah.
You texted me 7 more days and you thought I was talking about camping. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm excited.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not talking about camping. I was like, I wasn't either.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, I mean, Yeah.
You know, we'll see. So,
But no,
before that,
usually though, get lots of dates, but mostly online. But yeah, speaking like the whole nice guy thing, I've always been direct.
Yeah.
Too, and so like I get that like as a compliment from all the people I take out. They're like, "Wow, you were so direct," and like
Mhm.
people like are trying to be like a pen pal with me, or they just beat around it the whole time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, how can you be direct without being like too stern? I think. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say?
No. Well, I mean,
Can you be too direct?
Voice
You know?
inflections.
you, me,
Yeah,
tomorrow.
right,
Not-
right.
I don't know.
So like direct. What do they mean? Like, oh, you're very direct. That's great. Like, how does that? What does that look like for you?
No, I'm just like, you want to go out?
Yeah. But even like online dating, like that's where you're getting all your markups on.
That and just like in general.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even people that rejected me, they're like, I still got complimenting you for being direct, even though I'm not interested in you.
Yeah.
So
Is it okay to ask out over text?
No.
Nell's opinion. No.
depends. I don't know.
Why no?
You're just showing that you can't do it in person.
Can't. You're showing that you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my opinion, at least.
I
That's
would prefer in person.
that's
yeah.
an
Yeah.
that's an opinion. I've only ever asked out over text. A handful of times I've asked out in person, and
I'm
That-
hoping you didn't ask your fiance out over text.
I did.
you?
Actually, I didn't text her. I Instagram messaged her.
Ah,
But it works.
you slid in her DMs. It's worse.
And see, that's the thing. I don't think I creeped in. I started talking to her, and then when we started talking, I asked her out. You know what I mean? So I think I was very direct. It still surprised her because she wasn't thinking that way. She wasn't thinking that's where it was going. But at a certain point, I couldn't just be like creeping up and messaging her every day. I had to ask her, and I asked her
I've
out.
never slid into someone's DMs because I always feel like that would have been too creepy.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree with that. It could be creepy.
It takes
But-
a lot of guts to do it in person, though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. A
But
girl that's so pretty and you're really nervous to talk to her, and you finally get up there and you're like, will you be my girlfriend?
runs back into the bushes to hide.
Right.
But no, you can do it. It's doable. You know what I mean? Because they'll say yes. I've done it, but most of the time over text, and it works. How do you think? What do you do in online dating? How do you ask them out on a date?
Well, I mean, that's your only option is text.
Yeah, but why doesn't that transfer to real life? Why can't I ask for their number and just start texting them and then do it that way?
Because I mean, when you actually know who they are in person beforehand, it'd be different.
My first girlfriend, I didn't know who she was. I had no clue. I asked for her number, I started texting her, and then I texted her, "Let's go out," and she said yes. We broke up over unrelated reasons, but I don't know. I think texting's fine. It's worked for me, and I'm about to get married.
Well, in that case, it's different because you'd have to stalk the Whataburger to figure out what her shift is so you can find her
No.
and then ask her. So in
No.
that case, yeah, sure, send her a text.
So what I brought up the Whataburger thing earlier was just because I could ask for a number and then text her like that, and then she would have either responded or not. I probably wouldn't have seen her again except when I ordered another sweet and spicy. So I don't
That's
know.
if she still worked there, either for being fired or quitting for working at Whataburger.
Or quitting because you might come back because you asked him out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so much gray area. Because some guys, the actual guys that are smooth talkers, alpha males, or whatever, they can just go in there and they're getting the hair twirls, and they don't have to really ask. It's just it'll work,
A lot of the times they have money and are handsome, both.
Yeah,
So it's
I got those
So it
things.
doesn't.
you just gotta, I think you just got to be handsome.
I'm talking about millions.
Dang it.
No, I think you just got to be handsome. I don't think you have to be this whole smooth talker.
Nah, you can be handsome and just be a horrible person or
Yeah,
don't know how
that's
to
true.
talk to
I'm not saying
people.
you can't,
Yeah.
but me, I'm a decent looking guy, but I think my personality is what really carries these, gets me into people saying yes.
That is my motto right there. I don't think I'm that handsome at all, but man, my personality pulls.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know why.
It slays. You know how many engagements I've read? No, I'm just kidding. So I don't know. I think I'm pretty decent, but yeah, I had to break out of the nice guy thing, and not all nice guys berate the women after, but they get frustrated because they don't know what they're doing, and they thought they did, and they thought it was working, and it didn't, and that's where they get upset. So, but there's the way to break out of it. You just got to get practical. Go ask them out. Just be direct. You don't have to beat around the bush. You don't have to do all that other stuff.
I would like to admit that if any of these tactics that you have heard today fails, We're not actual like relationship counselors, so don't
Bro,
come at us. for
I
real.
want to go watch some relationship counselors and like start reviewing them and be like, is this actually practical or not? You know what I mean?
Isn't that what you already do on that Facebook page?
No, it's a little bit different. You listen to the show, you tell me. No, we just we talk about what's
I'm
really bad.
unsubscribing.
Yeah, we're talking about what's really bad, the really bad stuff. But if something that you've heard today doesn't work, that here's the other kicker. You don't have to take one person saying no so personally, and that's what a nice guy does. They take it as a deep, like, I suck. No one wants me, and that's not true. And I said
It's just that she don't.
she don't exactly. But that doesn't mean the next person won't. Because when I was still the nice guy and I was doing online dating, so nowadays if I were on online dating, I'd say, "Hi, how's your day going?" Or what do you like to do for fun? I saw your profile, but what do you like to do for fun? Or stuff like that. But before it was like, "Hi, I'm Caleb. I am blah 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 years old. I like to do this and this and that." I saw
So
your
you just put your profile in the
in the
chat?
sense, and I was like, but even then, sometimes those messages got responses back. You know what I mean? So it took me a couple years to clean it up and to be like just cool about it and be like, hey, what's how you doing? Or hey, how's your day going? What are you up to today? Stuff like that. I learned that you don't need the brick paragraphs. But my point is, if someone says no, just keep trying with different people. Don't try with the same person, because someone will take the bait. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna say yes, even when you send the weird brick paragraphs. Someone's gonna say yeah to you at some point. But you just got to keep moving on. You don't have to get hung up on the same person. Some people will get rejected and then ask out someone again, and sometimes they'll get a yes. I wouldn't recommend that. If someone tells me no, I'm done. I'm not about to chase after them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some people do, and it works out. I don't subscribe to that philosophy.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the worst thing you can do.
right. And why do you feel that way?
Well, again, it just goes back to wasting time.
Yeah, I agree. And some people it does work out for, though. That's the gray area part. Because I wouldn't recommend it. If someone tells me no, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll go find
recommend
someone.
it either.
Yeah, I'll find someone who says yes.
Yeah.
Easy. That's just now what's held me up until now was I was waiting on someone who I was interested in. I've had people that were interested in me that I wasn't feeling it with. Now that I'm engaged with someone that I saw, they stuck out to me, and I was like, okay, I want to pursue them. And then from there it was just a game of wearing her down. She didn't say no, but it took her a minute to get her like, she hadn't thought about me like that before. And when I first met her, I really annoyed her. So it took her a minute to change that, but I had to just kind of switch it to be sweet.
I have a similar story about that, but it's not with like in a romantic context.
Sure.
It's my best friend. Her and I hated each other. I think it took us like a whole 2 years, and then I finally started to like talk to her like as a friend.
Yeah.
And she's my best friend to this day. But I kind of understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But her and I just
Yeah. Well,
thought she was so.
it was more one-sided
condescending.
on my end. I made her mad. It wasn't we made each other mad. I thought I was being myself, but it upset her. So I had to go back and fix it later. But I did. So just depends. And it worked out. So that's the thing with the nice guys. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. If one person says no, go ask out another one. There's plenty of other people. There's nothing wrong with seeing a cute girl working at a restaurant and just say, hey, can I get your number? Wait till the food's done. Don't do it before you order, right? Wait till you get your food first, and then maybe like go back up for napkins, right? And then go ask again. Nothing wrong with that. Ask for their number, something like that. Or if you want to be too direct and ask them out, then maybe, do something like that. But be direct. That's where the nice guys slip up, is they're beating around the bush so much, I think we can all agree on that. And it's frustrating. I get it. It feels like nobody wants you because you put all this work in and you think you're being yourself and you think you're doing things the right way. Then you get turned down because you had the wrong idea in your head. And that's discouraging. I get that. That sucks. I get why that makes someone feel bad and you feel like you're incompetent. But no, you just got to try again with someone else. Someone will say yes, So we know a guy who would sit next to someone in church and start talking to him and ask him out like that. And it worked, right?
Yeah.
Didn't it work?
It worked.
Would you have tried that? No. Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it,
No.
but it worked.
If one of your deal breakers is to make sure that they're a Christian lady, then that's a good way to vet,
yeah,
your candidates, I guess you could say.
in a way, sure, but not always. I mean, you can, just like a guy can sit in a church and be a snake in the grass, women can do the same thing. Not just because they go to church doesn't mean they're a good person. Like I've dated, I've also not dated someone who was a Christian and they still went crazy on me. You know what I mean? Like, just doesn't matter. Church doesn't mean anything. A lot of people thought the Catholic Church was great, up until that whole scandal, right? So, like, what religion someone identifies with has nothing to do with they're a good person or not. Zero. You know what I mean? We know who God is and we know who Jesus is, but that doesn't mean that someone's allowed them to, let it work on them, So, yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where a lot of the people that I had pursued before my fiance, it was embarrassing telling people I met them at church because they acted so bad after that it was like, it's not a good reflection on the church. You know what I mean? It makes us look bad. When I say, yeah, I met this crazy person at church, like that hurts us, makes us look bad. It's like I met better people at bars sometimes, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Some normal people there.
Yeah. And it's like that. That's where I met the most down to earth people. Like the guy I'm sitting next to drinking my troubles away with, or a girl, whatever, But when you get that more confidence, though, you get approached a lot more by people. Like when I was younger, when I realized I was decent looking was when I could sit at a bar and someone would come up to me and start talking. And then I can get their number through there, Before that, I didn't know. I just had to kind of sit there and just be myself, and then people would come up and talk to you. So, I don't know. Pretty interesting stuff.
Man, you must be lucky. I thought I looked kind of good, and nobody talks to me at a bar.
You're not supposed to go there anymore with the intention of meeting somebody.
Still.
Yeah. I even went to the shabby, disgusting bars, too. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That's kind of shabby.
It is very disgusting, but I love it. And I even met some decent people there.
I thought you were talking about, like, going to Neon Moon, you meet
It's hard
there.
to meet someone at a place like that where it's really loud and you can't hear anything. But there are places that are quiet and more intentional, That's something I would also recommend for the nice guys. Go sit down somewhere and just strike up a conversation. Don't do it with the bartender because they want you to tip them, so they're going to talk to you. But the person you're sitting next to... What's so funny about that?
What you said is so true. It's so funny.
Yeah, because I thought I was getting good flirt game with the bartender, and then my buddy's like, they just want your money, right? And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Duh, obviously. Of course they're going to talk to you. But the person that you said...
one bar we went to.
Which one? I don't remember. What
You
experience?
kept talking to that bartender, and I'm like, man, stop wasting your time.
I don't remember that incident. I'm sure I did it.
No, yeah.
But anyway.
You may have been oblivious at the time.
Oh,
so.
maybe. No, but what about that one time that you and I went with our buddy Blake? You remember that? And that one girl was talking with me, and she kept pulling up pictures. She's like, "You look just like my ex." You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
She liked me.
Yeah.
She liked me. She wasn't going to get a tip from me. She was talking to me because she wanted to.
I do remember that day.
Yeah. Yeah. I got game. I'm a decent looking guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they picked you over me.
I know. It sucks.
It's a head
doesn't it?
scratcher.
It sucks.
I would have rejected them nonetheless, but like,
which is what I ended up doing.
Yeah, it'd have
That
been
girl was a
flattering.
mess. That's a good point, but just like religion, not all the time. A lot of people do obey the laws of marriage, right? But a lot of people, that's their calling card to like, I'm open for business. I want to cheat. So not all the time. I'd say more so than religion. But people that identify as married, that doesn't always mean that they identify as a good person. So
I gotta say, as a married man, the options start just opening up everywhere. For
Isn't that
some
crazy?
reason, the home wreckers come out of their little hole.
They do.
And they for some reason, now they want to have a relationship with you. I was like, I am taken now.
I look like a guy you could easily be like sucker into cheating. That's just the impression I give. I'd never do it, but I have that personality where it's like, oh, I could get him easy, But then when I say no at the end of the night, they get mad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I have that personality. It's like, oh, I can make him crumble like nothing.
I'm just surprised because it happened to me. You know what I mean? I was just like, where were these people before?
Right.
You get married and suddenly they're here.
Yeah. Suddenly, oh my gosh. You know, I agree with you, and that drives me crazy. That's another discussion for another time. Well, guys, thanks for joining us this week. I'm excited to share this conversation with y'all. I hope y'all had a good time. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks for driving all the way across Texas to get here. Thank you for hopping on and running errands and coming up on the show. I really appreciate it. It's been a great time with y'all. I hope y'all had fun. You have something else you want to say? Oh,
No.
goodbye. I salute thee.
I salute thee. Thanks for
right.
having us.
Thanks, guys. See y'all next time.